Alexandra, your book Passenger, what inspired it?
Well, it was really my love of history. I've always wanted to write a time travel story because growing up I was just sort of not weirdly obsessed, but I was really fascinated with early American history and sort of finding our origins as a country. So I wanted to write a story that was, somewhat lighthearted and adventurous after The Darkest Minds, which was like kind of sad and pretty serious. And so this really encompasses like all of my interests in history. I got to kind of be selfish and pick out the different eras I liked, and just really wanted to try to write a romance too for the first time, which was really, really fun.
How long did it take you to research everything before you could write it?
I think I was researching like all the way through the story too. So in total, it probably took me like a year and a half. And so it was like looking at things like trying to find plans for ships so I would be able to describe how they're like going down into the different decks and the different levels of the ship, which is really hard to find. I was kind of shocked because in the 18th century they only recorded like the warships, which was not relevant in this instance. And then throughout while I was writing, I was really double checking that Nicholas, who's from the 18th century, would like whether or not he would know a word or a phrase, if it was something that was not coined until later on, if he could be like mystified by it, or if it was really just something he couldn't say at all. So I used the Oxford English Dictionary a lot. So really, yeah, it was pretty research heavy, but it was fun. I loved doing that stuff. I was a history major in college, so couldn't resist.
What was one of the most fascinating things you learned in all your research?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't think I realized like how intense the war rationing was. There's a scene that's set in World War II London during the Blitz, the horrible bombing, and just sort of researching all of the shelter in places and just how many bombs were actually dropped and how absolutely devastated London was. I don't think I really had like a grip on that before I started doing the research for Passenger on that. But then I found like a lot of like weird fun stuff about the privateers in the 18th century and how they always had like a great comeback, especially when dealing with the British. And like one ship was called like the Tyrannicide, which is like, like death to tyrants. I was like, that's like kind of a cool name for a ship. Hey Justine, it's Alex. Look for my book Passenger. I'm so excited for you to read it. Go to justinemagazine.com for more.